Hello, I'm John Vincent Arnelia from BSIE 2A, and this is my oral synthesis in ethics. The first question: summarize the contents of Aristotle virtue ethics. So, virtue ethics is a broad term for theories that emphasize the role of character and virtue in moral philosophy, rather than either doing one's duty or acting in order to bring about good consequences. A virtue ethicist is likely to give you this kind of moral advice. Act as a virtuous person would act in your situation. Most virtue ethics theories take their inspiration from Aristotle, who declared that a virtuous person is someone who has ideal character traits. These traits derive from natural internal tendencies but need to be nurtured. However, once established, they will become more stable. For example, a virtuous person is someone who is kind across many situations over a lifetime because that is her character and not because she wants to maximize utility or gain favors or simply do her duty. Unlike the ontological and consequentialist theories, theories of virtue ethics do not aim primarily to identify universal principles that can be applied in any moral situation. And virtue ethics theories deal with wider questions. How do I live and what is the good life? And also what are and proper family and social values? Since its revival in the 20th century, virtue ethics has been developed the three main directions: eudaimonism, agent-based theories, and ethics of care. Eudaimonism bases virtues in human flourishing, where flourishing is equated with performing one's distinctive function well. In the case of humans, Aristotle argued that our distinctive function is reasoning. So the life worth living is one which we reason well. An agent-based theory emphasizes that virtues are determined by common sense intuitions that we are observers judge to be admirable traits in other people. The third branch of virtue ethics, the ethics of care, was proposed predominantly by feminist thinkers. It challenges the idea that ethics should focus solely on justice and autonomy. It argues that more feminine traits such as caring and nurturing should also be considered. Moving on to question number 2 on what is my own perception about happiness and how I can achieve that. Happiness is based on perception, so regardless of your situation, you can achieve it right now. The best way to do it is by focusing on what is going well instead of what is going badly, on what you have instead of what you lack, on your gifts instead of your shortcomings. From a behavioral point of view, you are discarding negative reinforcements and sticking exclusively to positive reinforcements. By focusing on what is going well instead of on what is going badly, you aren't condemning yourself to stagnation like many fear, because you can use your energy to build upon the good just as easily as you can use it to eradicate the bad. What you are doing is cultivating whatever little amount of happiness is available to you now, and therefore making the state become a way of life through continued exposure to it. Moving on to question number 3, summarize John Rawls' idea about justice and fairness. So Rawls holds the justice as fairness is the most egalitarian and also the most plausible interpretation of these fundamental concepts of liberalism. He also argues that justice as fairness provides a superior understanding of justice to that of the dominant tradition in modern political thought, utilitarianism. Number 4. One of the first places we can look to see how fairness influences morality is in justice, the moral application of the law. When something is just, it is, by definition, fair. Have you ever seen a statue of Lady Justice, the allegorical representation of the idea of justice. She is blindfolded. Why? Because justice should be applied equally to everyone, regardless of their history, wealth, social status, or any other factor. Lady Justice is blind, meaning that the only factor in determining how the law is applied is what is fair. The last given question, the number 5. So the example is political dynasties. As they have existed in the Philippines, given the data analytics that have gone into studying them, already transgress the first principle, which essentially governs political rights. Concomitant to the first right is the right of participation in the crafting of legislation and in the ordering of the body politic. Political dynasties in the Philippines result in sequestration of power, influence, and economic clout in favor of dynastic families, effectively excluding others from the other degree of participation. It may be well it may be very well that in the US, in the case of Bushes and Thaddeus in Canada, son succeeded to the position of father, but this succession did not have the same effect, as empirical reality in the Philippines is markedly different. That's all. Thanks for watching.